Good day, everyone. So, the previous poetry reading I did was quite a success, and a lot of people have appreciated it. So, I've decided that I'm going to be doing more poetry on the channel, not just stories. So, if those of you who follow my Instagram will have seen my story on it, today's poet is Pablo Neruda, and I'm going to be reading out four poems from this book, an anthology of Pablo Neruda's poems. As you can see, there are multiple bookmarks here. There are four in total. And well, I found these poems very striking, very well written. But then again, it's Neruda. Of course, it's well written. So without further ado, here we go. Bookmark number one. This poem is called Tonight I Can Write. Tonight I can write the saddest lines. Write, for example, the night is shattered and the blue stars shiver in the distance. The night wind revolves in the sky and sings. Tonight I can write the saddest lines. I loved her, and sometimes she loved me too. Through nights like this one, I held her in my arms. I kissed her again and again under the endless sky. She loved me, sometimes I loved her too. How could one not have loved her great still eyes? Tonight I can write the saddest lines. To think that I do not have her, to feel that I have lost her. To hear the immense night, still more immense without her, and the verse falls to the soul like dew to the pasture. What does it matter that my love could not keep her? The night is shattered, and she is not with me. This is all. In the distance, someone is singing. In the distance, my soul is not satisfied that it has lost her. My sight searches for her as though to go to her. My heart looks for her, and she is not with me. The same night whitening the same trees. We of that time are no longer the same. I no longer love her, that's certain, but how I loved her. My voice tried to find the wind to touch her hearing. Another's, she will be another's. Like my kisses before, her voice, her bright body, her infinite eyes. I no longer love her, that's certain, but maybe I love her. Love is so short, forgetting is so long. Because through nights like this one, I held her in my arms, and my soul is not satisfied that it has lost her. Though this will be the last pain that she makes me suffer, and these, the last verses that I will write for her. I think you need a minute. I know I do, because this poem is pretty powerful. And I'm just gonna take a deep breath before I move on to the next one. So, bookmark number two. And this poem is called Alliance or Sonata. From dust laden glances fallen to earth, or noiseless leaves, self buried, from tarnished metals with the void incarnate, with the absence of day, dead of a stroke. In hand heights the dazzle of butterflies, butterflies setting sail in their unbounded light. You were guardian to the light's stelae, fragmented beings, the late and tardy sun flung at the churches, glass tinted with the aim of bees, your embodiment of unlooked for flame in flight, precedes and follows day, his golden kin. Days cruise in secret and lie in ambush, but fall into the trap, your voice of light. O Lady of the House of Love, in your repose I ground my dreams, my hushed expectancy. With your body shyly numbered, extended suddenly out to the quantities which have defined the earth, beyond the broils of the white days in space, with cold, slow deaths and withering incentives. I feel your lap burning and your kisses passing, like early summer swallows in my dreams. Times are when what your tears may wish to be, like age reaches my forehead. Their waves are battering, tripping themselves to death, their motion humid, fallen, fine. Which brings us to bookmark number 3. Now, this is a particularly good one. I think this is the one that is my favorite among the entirety of this collection. It's called Barcarolle. If only you would touch my heart, if only you would put your lips to my heart, your delicate mouth, your teeth, if you would place your tongue like a red arrow, where my crumbling heart is beating, if you would blow over my heart near the sea crying, it would ring with an obscure sound, the sound of train wheels or dreams, like the to and fro of waters, like autumn in leaf, like blood, with the noise of damp flames burning the sky, dreaming like dreams or branches or winds, or the horns of some sad port. If you would blow on my heart near the sea, like a white ghost would blow on the lace of the spume, in the cut of the wind, like an unchained ghost crying at the sea's edge, like absence spun out like a sudden bell, the sea shares out the heart's own sound, raining, dusking on a lone coast. Night falls without doubts, and the lugubrious blue of its shipwrecked banners fills with the stridency of silver planets. And the heart sounds like a crabbed shell, calls, O sea, O cry, O fear dissolved, scattered in wreckages and dislocated waves. The sea impeaches sound, for its leaning shadows, its green poppies. If you were to come to being suddenly on some sad coast, surrounded by the stuff of the dead day, face to face with a new light, full of waves, and were to blow on my cold, fearful heart, on its lonesome blood, on its flames like a flight of doves. In black blood, syllables would sound, its unquenchable red waters swell, and it would sound and sound in the shadows. It would sound like death itself, calling like a pipe full of wind and crime, or a bottle gushing fright. So it is. And lightning would glaze your treasures, and rain would come in through your open eyes, to hatch the cry you have incubated here, and the black wings of the sea would whirl around you, with a great flail of talons and roar and raven coins. Do you want to be the lone ghost by the sea, blowing his pointless, disheartened instrument? It's only you would call, his drawn out sound, his evil piping, his melody of wounded waves. Someone would come, perhaps. Someone would come. From the crowns of the islands, up from the Red Sea depths, someone would come. Someone indeed would come. Someone would come, blow with fury, that it may sound like the siren of a broken ship, like a lament, like neighing from the midst of surf and blood, like fierce and self devouring waters. In the marine season, a shell of shadows spirals like a cry. Seabirds mistrust it and flee. Its shreds of sound, its grid of misery, rise by the shores of the solitary ocean. And finally, poem number 4, bookmark number 4. This poem is called Walking Around. It happens that I am tired of being a man. It happens that I go to the tailor shops and the movies, all shriveled up, impenetrable like a felt swan, navigating on a water of origin and ash. The smell of barber shops makes me sob out loud. I want nothing but the repose of either stones or of wool. I want to see no more establishments, no more gardens, nor merchandise, nor glasses, nor elevators. It happens that I am tired of my feet and my nails, and my hair and my shadow. It happens that I am tired of being a man. Just the same, it would be delicious to scale a notary with a curt lily, or to knock a nun stone dead with one blow of an ear. It would be beautiful to go through the streets with a green knife, shouting until I died of cold. I do not want to go on being a root in the dark, hesitating, stretched out, shivering with dreams, downwards in the wet tripe of the earth, soaking it up and thinking, eating every day. I do not want to be the inheritor of so many misfortunes. I do not want to continue as a root and as a tomb, as a solitary tunnel, as a cellar full of corpses, stiff with cold, dying with pain. For this reason, Monday burns like oil, at the sight of me arriving with my jail face, and it howls in passing like a wounded wheel, and its footsteps towards nightfall are filled with hot blood. And it shoves me along to certain corners, to certain damp houses, to hospitals where the bones come out of the windows, to certain cobbler shops smelling of vinegar, to streets horrendous as crevices. There are birds the color of sulphur and horrible intestines hanging from the doors of the houses which I hate. There are forgotten sets of teeth in a coffee pot. There are mirrors, which should have wept with shame and horror. There are umbrellas all over the place, and poisons and needles. I stride along with calm, with eyes, with shoes, with fury, with forgetfulness. I cross offices and stores full of orthopedic appliances, and courtyards hung with clothes on wires, underpants, towels, and shirts which weep, slow, dirty tears. That was Pablo Neruda, four poems from my compilation book. I hope you enjoyed it. And yes, as I announced earlier, there will be more poetry on this channel. I will be doing more readings. If you like this, leave a comment for me down below. It would really help. And I will see you next week with another story. If there is a request you would like to make, please don't hesitate to do so. I will accommodate you to the best of my ability. That being said, good night, for it is night time here. And this is the Bills Master signing off one more time next week. Be seeing you.